Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Neglected and Got Trained by Ronaldo, Messi and LeBron James movie. Before we start, please go support John354 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. What happens when your entire family has been very famous for many years, as have your siblings, while you are the weakest in the family? Well, that is the case of Hyoudou Issei, a boy who wants to receive the compliment from his family, but it was not like that. Chapter 1. The Hyoudou family has had a great reputation for years for having only great players in all types of sports. But today the two already retired Garu, an excellent footballer, and a retired Mickey, equally excellent in tennis, had 3 children. The eldest, named Ichiro, was the pride of both of them, since from a young age he showed talent in soccer, just like his father. The insurance called June, who also showed talent but in basketball. And finally, little Issei, who, to the family's disappointment, still showed no talent in any sport. Garu, you are already 8 years old, Issei. Your brothers at that age were already good at what they did, but you are not good at anything. Issei, I'm sorry, Dad, but... Garu, don't call me Dad. Do you forget the history of this family? Taking Issei by the arm and dragging him into a room, and upon opening it there were many photos on the wall as well as trophies. Garu, my father was the best footballer in his time, winning many trophies. And my grandfather was the best in baseball, but you. Issei, I'll try. Looking down and holding back the urge to cry. Garu, you're too old to be crying. Issei. Garu, now you're mute, better go to your room. All you do is make me angry. Issei just nodded and walked to his room, passing by his brothers. June, pathetic, you don't know how to do anything. Ichiro, you will be the person who will end the story of this family. June, the good thing is that almost nobody knows about you, ha 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 ha. Issei couldn't take it anymore and ran to his room with some tears. Upon entering his room he slammed the door and locked it. He cried and cried until he fell asleep. Hours later he woke up only to notice that it was already night time. Issei sat on the bed and looked around at the posters of his idols. Issei, I won't give up. Clenching his fists in determination. The next day the Hyoudou family was having breakfast until Issei dropped his spoon to the floor at the news he received. Garu, in an hour you'll be leaving for boarding school in Portugal. I'm tired of wasting my time with you. Mickey, you're not good at sports, so find a profession. June, study to be a doctor so you can be useful, ha 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 ha. Ichiro, you're right, ha 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 ha. Issei, but I want to play. Mickey, you have no talent, so give up and do something else. Now your brothers will have to work twice as hard to keep this family story going. Garu, go and pack your bags. Without saying a word, Issei left the table and went up to his room to prepare things. An hour later the taxi was waiting for him, while Issei was at the entrance waiting at least for his parents to say goodbye to him, but that was expecting too much from both of them. Butler, come on Issei-sama, it's time, your flight will be leaving soon. Issei, thank you for everything. Butler, take care and remember to never give up. Issei just nodded with a forced smile and left his house. Days later Issei found himself at his new school, which was a boarding school. He made some friends with whom he had a good time. Nobody asked him about his family since both parents forbade him to use his last name. 2 years later Issei was already 10 years old and was a very intelligent child who surprised his teachers. At parent meetings he would get sad because he would wait all day for both of them to arrive, but in the end, nothing. And that was the case today. Issei, your parents called me, I'm sorry, but... Issei, I understand. You can go to the park. Issei, thank you, teacher. Leaving the boarding school with his head down, he sat down on a bench. In the park, where he took out his phone and watched the best plays. Issei, someday I will be like him. Smiling sadly. If you try, of course you can do it, kid. Issei looked to his right, seeing an older man around 40 years old wearing a cap and a mask. Issei, I tried before, but my parents told me I was useless. I just wanted to be like them. Maybe your whole family plays. Issei. My older brother is good at soccer and my other older brother is good at basketball. My father was someone good, but he is now retired, as is my mother. You have an interesting family. Issei, but I am nothing. We are all good at something. The problem is that you were born in a very competitive environment. Your parents expect you to be as good as them as your siblings. Issei, I just want to be told that I did an excellent job. Well, he struggles to hear those words. Issei, thank you, sir. I'll have to train very hard for that. But I don't know how I'll do it since my father told the director that I was forbidden to play. You know, I have nothing to do right now. I can help you. Issei, because I see something amazing in you. It will be interesting, ha 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 ha. Issei, who are you? Tell me your name first. Issei, Hyoudou Issei, sir. A Hyoudou, this will be interesting. My name is Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro. Taking off his mask and glasses, he then gave Issei a smile that left him surprised since he didn't expect that. Plus, I was just watching videos of him recently. Issei, but how? Cristiano, I grew up in this park and I come here to think. Issei, I'm a fan of his. Searching for a piece of paper in your pockets and a pencil that you luckily have. Issei, he gives me his autograph. Cristiano just laughed and took the paper where he gave his autograph. Christian, you want to be better than them. Issei, the truth is yes. Cristiano, then we'll have to train a lot. Tell me what would happen if you left the boarding school where you are. Issei, nothing really. My so-called friends that I had were only with me because they found out who my parents were. Only my teacher cares about me, but she's retiring next year. Cristiano, then leave that place and we will dedicate ourselves to training. Issei, seriously, but what about his family? Cristiano, my son is already a bit older, and the others are still small. Issei, thank you very much, I will give it my all. Cristiano, then let's go now. Getting up from his seat and starting to walk, Issei just followed happily. Later, Cristiano called Issei's teacher to tell him not to worry and not to tell anyone. The teacher hesitated, but upon hearing Issei's voice, with no other option, she accepted. A year later, Issei had a better physique thanks to Cristiano's training. In addition, he played with him and was somewhat surprised since he had talent. Cristiano, Issei, we are going to Argentina. Issei, for what? Cristiano, you know who my biggest rival was. Issei, hearing that, opened his mouth wide while Cristiano just laughed at such an expression. Some time later they took flight until they reached their destination. Later they were on the beach until someone approached them. Issei, I'm your fan. Cristiano, hey. Issei, both are. Messi, what an interesting kid, ha 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 ha. Cristiano, yes it is. Messi, and you really wish. Cristiano, help me to reach his potential, even if you don't believe it, he has talent. He may reach higher than us or our children. Messi, wow, you have a lot of confidence in the kid. Cristiano, I'm already retired and well I don't have much to do, ha ha ha. Messi, let's do it and see how we improve. Cristiano, I also need help from other people. I know you get along with them. Giving him a list that surprised the Argentine since he did not expect to see such names. Messi, wow, do you want to create a monster? Cristiano, believe me, he has talent. Many will fight over him. Messi, I can imagine and don't worry, I'll tell them. Looking at Issei with a big smile. Messi, I can't wait to see your future, Issei. Chapter 2. 2 years later. During that time he was trained like never before, but instead of complaining he asked for more because he wanted to be good. As time went by, more people joined the training, which surprised Issei as they were very famous people who took the time to train him. Come on Issei, that's all you got. Issei, you're joking, right? How he wants me to throw with more force if these bracelets weigh a lot and this bat weighs even more. You need power, boy. Plus your pitches are still weak. They won't go very far as a pitcher. Issei, he's challenging me because if so, he's succeeding. Strapping on a tire and starting to run with all his might. How easy it is to convince. Messi, and what do they say about him? I honestly wasn't expecting much, but he's got talent. He can do some good turns. If he trains more, he will be able to hit home runs without much difficulty, and I really hope that day comes. Cristiano, and how is basketball going for you? He's got talent. I'll teach him some long-distance tricks tomorrow. Ha 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 ha, I want to see what he's going to do in the future. Messi, maybe football. Or baseball. Tennis. Basketball. American football. Cristiano, we just have to wait. The group of men nodded further, as they saw Issei's determination. Time went on, and Issei trained as best he could day and night if possible, but obviously not to overdo it since his trainers didn't let him. He traveled to many countries to improve everything he was taught, and with each trip he met kids his age who quickly became friends through the court. You're good, Issei. Say one day you want to play, you know where I'll be. Issei, I'll keep that in mind, don't worry. Leaving the place. Currently Issei was in front of his basketball coach, LeBron James. After several plays and points the game ended. Issei, you beat me by 6 points. LeBron, it wasn't bad, keep practicing. Issei then. LeBron, you did well, you're ready. Now all that's left is for you to have fun. Messi, that's right. The most important thing is that you have fun on the pitch. Many people will have their eyes on you, so choose wisely. Issei, thank you for everything. If it weren't for you, I don't know what would become of my life. Cristiano, let's see if you can beat us. Issei, don't doubt it, old man, ha 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 ha. Cristiano, you don't want a beating. Issei, nope. The group just extended their hand waiting for Issei's greeting, where he happily accepted it, and after that he left the cave. Messi, he destroys everyone. Issei just raised his thumb and continued on his way as he wanted to return to his country. Hours later, he arrived in Japan again, ready to show what he was made of. He also investigated his brothers during the time, and both were people to be feared since many famous teams had them and their friends in their sights. Issei, well, it's time for action. Taking a taxi and going to his destination, which took half an hour. As he got out of the taxi, he let out a deep sigh. Issei, she's beautiful. Starting to walk until someone put their hand on his shoulder. You were late. Issei, I had one last match. And how did it go? Issei, I lost in all of them, ha 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 ha. And you'll do it here too, ha ha ha. Issei, Sakuta, I gain power with my throws. Sakuta, you'll see. Sakuta, but leaving that aside, let's go, the others are waiting for you. Issei, don't tell me I'm the last one. Sakuta, as always. Starting to smile, while Issei followed him. Issei, and how is your girlfriend? Sakuta, my-san, you know. Issei, looking for ways to torture you, ha 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 ha. Sakuta, of course not. Issei, aha, sure. Arriving at your destination to see a group of boys. Issei, well, we're finally all together. The lazy one arrived. Issei, this slacker beat you. I'm ready for revenge. Issei, don't worry, goalkeeper. I'll keep scoring goals against you. But I'm happy to see you here. We came from far away just for this. Issei, it was a promise we made. Remembering how he met each of his classmates, and how they promised to get together. I was watching some of your brother Jun's games, and well, it's not that bad, but it lacks something. Issei, you're not one of the smartest for nothing. But because you have a keychain. It's for luck. Issei, you keep going with that, but it doesn't matter. Ichiro is fast, but I have a way to beat him. Although together with his partner they are something. Issei, I know you'll make it. Hey, but in this academy there are not enough students to gather enough people. Issei, you calm and I nervous. I can already imagine what you'll do. Issei, the joke is that our academy is already registered in all the tournaments. What a drag, I don't want to play that much. Issei, as Captain Yami says, we must surpass our limits, isn't that right? Looking to the door to see a black-haired man with a cigarette in his mouth. Yami, Brad, I still wonder how I got here. Issei, who knows? And you, Asta? Asta, no idea. But we're going to win. Screaming at the top of his lungs as always. Issei, that's the attitude. Yami, do what you want, I will go to overcome my limits. Going to the bathroom while some of them started to sweat. Issei, our mission is to make this academy #1 again. You're asking too much, since this place never wins. Asta, from worst to best, I like that. Sakuta, a lot of work, but I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. But remember, I hate losing, so I expect good teammates. Issei, ha 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 ha, I'll see. Hey, take it seriously. Issei, yes, whatever you say. Asta, I already found someone who can help me. Issei, great. You see, Asta does his job. Seriously. Asta, yes, he is my childhood friend, his name is Yuno and he is a fullback. He is skinny but he runs fast, ha ha ha. Issei, I like it. Someone else. They just looked at each other with poker faces at such a question. On the other hand, being one of the most famous academies, Ichiro was already in his last year of academy with his teammate Vale Lucifer. Ichiro, the tournament will start in a week. Vale, we will win as always. Ichiro, it's true that no academy can beat us, ha ha ha. Same with June, they always win. Vale, and you've already decided where to play next. Ichiro, I'm interested in going to Manchester, but they want me to leave now. And I really want to leave here on my own. Vale, same. We'll see later. Arriving at their classroom where they were hugged by two girls being Rias and Laviana. Surzek, hey, now is not the time for this. Ichiro, don't worry, brother-in-law, ha ha ha. Surzek next. To clarify here the young leaders too. Rias, you shouldn't be training. Laviana, you know how your grandfather gets when they go to Valkyrie training. Vale, I know, and we just came to see you. And you guys are ready for your game tomorrow. Rias, it will just be a warm-up, nothing important. Ichiro, and who will they play with? Laviana, the Sikh Academy. Vale, seriously, ha 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 ha, the worst of all. Ichiro, ha ha ha, I still remember that 20-0 win. Rias, it was a great day. Laviana, well, we'll go train a little. Leaving the place just like the football team. At the Sikh Academy, Issei was in front of two girls, a little serious with a book in hand. Issei, well, tomorrow will be an interesting day. Who are we playing against? Issei, Rias and Laviana. I've seen some of their games, they're not that great. They think they're the best. I'll bring them down from that cloud, ha 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 ha. Issei, relax, don't do something stupid. Yes, whatever you say. Issei, hey, that's mine. Well, we'll go with the boys for a while. Issei, they're not going to train. You forget that you forced us to train like crazy in the past. Issei, true. But don't forget it. We know, and don't worry. The words defeat are not in our vocabulary. Issei just nodded and headed off to look for the other members of his team. Chapter 3. It was the day of the game between both academies, being a friendly between Sikh's Academy and KS Academy being #1. Despite it being just a friendly game, everyone was looking forward to it, especially those from the Ku Academy since they already knew the result. Minutes later the players from the Sikh Academy arrived, 2 girls, 1 black-haired and 1 pink-haired, along with their coach. I'm still sleepy. I know, but let's finish this quickly since the boys have a friendly game in the afternoon too. Come on, girls. Hey, Charlotte-sensei. Both of them headed to the locker room, leaving some boys surprised by such beauty since they didn't expect them to be other players. Minutes later, both were on the court facing their rivals. Rias, what happened to the other two? Were they traumatized? We gave them a break. Leviana, nice to meet you, my name is Leviana and I hope it's a fun game. Extending his hand with a smile. I'm Kurumi and of course it will be fun. Kurumi, and this is my partner Yuno. Yuno, let's finish this quickly, Yuki is waiting for me. Rias, don't worry, it will be like that. The four of them went to take position while listening to the fans. Seconds later the referee gave the signal to start the game, and KS team took the first serve. Rias threw the ball with all his might inward, wanting to win the first point. But it was not like that since Yuno, being in front, returned the ball with greater force, giving the first 15 points. Kurumi, now I heard recently that they would beat us quickly, he. Rias, don't think you're a big deal just because you're lucky. Giving the next serve which Kurumi returned with greater force. Giving them another point where they now had 30 points. Many of the spectators were in shock as they did not expect this, since their team always started off winning. You know, their time was up and ours is over. It's a shame this is a friendly game though. Leviana, the game has just begun. Kurumi, tell me, do you want to see an attack so powerful that it would leave you breathless? Leviana, try it but you will lose. Kurumi, if that's what you wish. Having a smile and launching the attack with so much power that it hit Leviana in the stomach since she didn't even see it due to how fast the ball was going. Kurumi, you're weak. You didn't even see that pass. You know, but he was going very slowly. Leviana, who are you? Both girls just smiled at such words. You know, the new champions I guess. Pointing with his racket at two boys who were upset by what they were seeing. You know, I hope you are ready to comfort your partners he. Kurumi, because it will be her worst day. After a long time, the Sikh Academy won all 3 times with a monstrous difference since in each time the couple won all 6 games. Both Rias and Leviana fell to their knees as they had never lost. Kurumi, I hope you get used to this feeling because maybe you'll feel it again soon. Rias, this will never happen again. Charlotte, girls, let's go back. Kurumi, she's so looking forward to seeing Yami-sensei. Charlotte, no comment. Going to his transport to go to his academy. You know, I hope you enjoyed this game. Making a slight bow and leaving the place while listening to many murmurs. While on the other hand being one of the most prestigious academies, the Grigori Academy. The basketball team was ready for their friendly match. June, okay guys, you know I hate losing. Azazel, and who would love to lose just one idiot? Plus we're playing against that academy. June, well that's it, you're right. Sahariel, I heard there's a new team. June, well after losing so many times last year it's normal that they gave up. Shemhazai, the poor things must have been traumatized. Azazel, alright guys, let's play to be ready for the tournament. Going to the court, he was happy just by entering to see his fans, his classmates. Seconds later they saw Sikh's new team entering through the other exit. Some students were surprised since they were all new and one of them was taller than normal. Well, let's see what the best of this academy are made of. How boring, and I'm hungry. Issei, come on guys, I know you can do it. True generation of miracles. I have no idea why you tell us that. Letting out a sigh as he prepared himself with his teammates ready to play. Yami, Kais, you rest while you 5 play. Kais, because I wanted to play. Yami, sit brat next to the other brat. Kais just let out a sigh and went to sit next to Issei while he had a cap. Meanwhile the team was facing their rivals. June, I hope you entertain me. Ayamin, don't worry, it will be like that. Azazel, their classmates didn't tell them how they did last year. Midorima, they are the past and we are the present. As he adjusted his glasses with his serious look. Seconds later the referee threw the ball up and it was fought for by Shemhazai and Murasakibara. Which was eventually won by Murasakibara, who gave it to Midorima. When he had it in his hands he threw it. June, are you perhaps watching how the ball was heading towards the goal, which luckily for him it was. Midorima, I never fail. Many were in shock as the score changed to 3 points in Zeke's favor. Kais, that's how you play, you can do it. Watching the game with enthusiasm. Seconds later June gave the sack, and as soon as he gave it he ran away while his teammates passed him the ball, and when he was ready to shoot he ran into Murasakibara where he was surprised to see such a look. June, without giving it much thought, made his best jump, which unfortunately for him was one where he was knocked down. Murasakibara took the ball and passed it to Azazel, who looked at him strangely, and when he was about to take it, the ball went in another direction. What surprised him was that a boy came out of nowhere. Kais, that's how you do Tetsuya. Issei, wow, he's still camouflaging himself, ha 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 ha. Akashi took the ball alone to score 2 points, and the lead was already 5-0 in just a short time. The spectators did not know what to say as they were used to seeing their team win at the start. Aemon, hey, that's all you got, Captain. June, you'll see. Giving the serve and going on the attack again. Armoros was going to take the ball, but Tetsuya deflected it in Aemon's direction. He was close to June where he gave him a smile. June was ready to take the ball away from him, but Aemon didn't allow him, giving him several plays that confused the young brown-haired boy. At last June fell to the ground, and when he looked up he only saw how Wam gave a great jump and how they scored another point. Azazel, who the hell are these guys? Turning around to see them and then to the bench only to see only 2 changes. What surprised him the most was that the number 1 was sitting down. Azazel thought, we have to turn this score around. That kid doesn't give me a good feeling. Going to take the ball out. The first 2 periods. Passed where the advantage was 100-20. Nobody could believe such a difference in points, even though there were still 2 halves left. Yami, Issei enters. He took off his cap and stepped forward. His teammates smiled slightly as Akashi walked past him while shaking hands. Akashi, have fun. Issei, that's how it will be. Standing in front of his rival and seeing how June had an angry expression. Issei, are you ready to lose June and I-san? June, you? He said it, a little surprised to see Issei in front of him. Seconds later the game started where the ball was given to him. Issei was in front of June where with some plays he managed to convince him, where he then passed him to the top to Aemon, while he made a great jump taking the ball and giving 2 points to his team. June, how is that? Issei, I'm not the same as before. June. Turning around and going with his team, the match ended some time later with some changes, but the result was always the same. In the end, Zeke's Academy was the winner with a score of 160-35. Grigori's team was only on their knees in the face of such humiliation, even though it was only a friendly match. Issei, see you at the tournament. I hope you train more because you've played terribly, and if you continue like this you'll disappoint your family. June just clenched his fists at such words. June thought, your joy will not be eternal, Issei, and I will take care of humiliating you in the tournament. Getting up and leaving with his companions. Chapter 4. The basketball group returned to the academy where they were quickly congratulated by the entire academy since it was their first victory, even though it was a friendly. Don't you think they went too far? Aemon, nah, that'll help them get off their high horse. Maybe they'll give us more of a fight in the next match. Well, you're right about that. Issei, and how did it go for you too? Kurumi, well then. You know, it was a complete victory, ha 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 ha. If you could have seen the look of horror on both of their faces. Issei, I told you that you could win, but not like this. Kurumi, yes, but what's done is done. Looking to the sides and seeing your partner. Kurumi, Shido-san. Hearing his name, he gulped and exited, where he slowly turned around, a little nervous. Shido, congratulations. Kurumi, you already know what to do to congratulate me. Giving her a wink, but then one of her friends hit her on the head. Hey, don't say those words, there are children present. Kurumi, it's true. Looking at the group of boys with a mocking smile that caused some to get upset. Leaving that aside. You know the problems you'll have when playing that match, don't you, Issei? All his friends looked at him as they obviously knew about his childhood. Issei, don't worry. Sooner or later it had to happen. I've said it before and I'll say it again, you're not alone, my friend. At first I didn't like you, but you earned my respect. It's fun to joke with you, ha 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 ha. Do you still remember the thermal weapons? Issei, of course, how could I forget that beating? Tomorrow many will begin to fear the basketball team. For the news. I hope they don't overdo it. Ringing the bell where everyone went to rest. Meanwhile at the Hyoudou house the family was having dinner until the door was opened, and it was June. Ichiro, you had fun in your match. Since he didn't see it, since he obviously knew he would win, but when he didn't receive an answer he raised an eyebrow. Ichiro, hey. Garu, son, what happened? Mickey, didn't you score that many points? June, we lost. The three of them, upon hearing such an answer, did not know what to say. Ichiro, you're joking, right? June, no. Ichiro instantly pulled out his phone and looked up the information where both parents stood close to him to see. Seconds later all three of them had their eyes wide open as they saw the scoreboard. Mickey, what happened there? June, the whole team was new. Plus that idiot is there. Garu, who are you talking about? June, from Issei. He is the captain. He said this while clenching his teeth in fury, leaving the three of them surprised again. Garu, how is it possible that he has no talent? Plus he's in a boarding school. June, well, it's possible. And I hate to admit it, but it's good. Curious, Ichiro went to the living room and turned on the game, being even more surprised by the game since he didn't even give his brother's team a chance. More so when I saw Issei's plays and how he scored without fear of failing. Garu, how dare that ungrateful man lie to us? Mickey, he was making fun of us. Garu, when I see him I hope he gives me some answers. Clenching his fist, seeing that his son did have talent, since if so his family's reputation would be even greater. The next day all the newspapers of each academy showed the defeat of Grigori's academy, leaving everyone in shock since they lost against the worst of all. Ichiro, damn Sikh Academy. He said this shouting with great fury while shoving the newspaper into the trash. While in another seat a black-haired girl with pigtails looked at such a thing with a slight smile. Serafal, you are amazing, Issei-chan. Elsewhere at the Sikh Academy the soccer team was practicing for their match against one of the top academies. Hero Academy is next, it will be interesting, they are the second best. I wanted to play against the first one. I want to break bones, ha 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 ha. Hey, relax. Issei, alright guys, we have to be ready. We must never underestimate our opponent, besides, it's a friendly game and we can all play. There are no limits on changes. Asta, if so, I have a great idea. Oh my god, Asta had an idea, it's the end of the world. Asta, hey? Accept it, you are pure muscle and everything else is good. Asta, even you know. That's how you treat your childhood friend. You know, things as they are. Asta, they will let me continue. Issei, of course. Asta formed a smile and began to tell his plan, which surprised everyone since it was good. It looks like it wants to rain. It must be because of Asta's idea. Asta, shut up already. Going after both of them as they ran away from him with a smile. Hey Issei. Issei, yes, tell me. Where is my friend? I thought she would come to study here too. Issei, Sarah-chan, well, she's at Ko's academy. How is it possible? I thought we would be together. Issei, his parents, you know. I know. When will we be able to see it? Issei, when the occasion calls for it. Believe it or not, I also suffer from not seeing her. Well, who's hungry? One of the team members said it with a cute face. Where he instantly ran away since Issei followed him to beat him up. The next day, Sikh's Academy was getting off the bus in front of the stadium where the match would take place. They looked around and noticed that many people from other academies were arriving. This is going to be fun, ha 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 ha. So you want to see our defeat? Ero-sensei. Hey, don't tell me that in public. Don't hide the obvious. Besides, you already know who the captain of that team is, no Jiraiya-sensei. Jiraiya, Orochimaru, my rival. Yes, of course. Heading to the dressing rooms, minutes later. Everything was ready. Commentator 1, it's a nice summer, do you think so, mate? Commentator 2, you're right. I never thought that in a friendly match between academies the stadium would be so full. Commentator 1, well, the answer is obvious. The Hero Academy is not one of the best and favorites to go to the nationals. But from what I heard, the Sikh Academy has been reformed. Commentator 2, I heard it too, and well, basketball players are on another level. In the stands, Jun felt like he was almost foaming at the mouth with rage upon hearing such words. Seconds later, both teams were entering the field while many shouts could be heard. The Hero Academy smiled when they saw their rivals since they were the same team as always. This is the Hero Academy uniform. And this is the one from the Sikh Academy. Ichiro, you're still the same useless team. Sometime later the referee gave the signal to start the match, with the first kick being given by the Heroes Academy. Hey Issei, this match is going to be a lot of fun. Issei, don't go too far. It's a shame you're not playing. I wanted us to use unique plays. Issei, it will be another time. Do you want to play against No? Issei, I know it's selfish of me, but don't worry, if I were in your situation I would do the same thing, right guys? The group just nodded as it was true, while Jiraiya was glaring at his rival as he gave him a big smile. There is my rival. Seriously, don't tell me what that duck hair is. Sasuke, you see that I have improved these years. Issei, he was always better than you, right? Well, it's time for you to show what you're made of, Naruto. The aforementioned just nodded with a big smile. The minutes passed and every so often many blows could be heard until the first half ended with a score of 7-0. Everyone headed to the locker room where the players were standing with their eyes downcast. Sorry guys. Asta, don't worry, it's okay. True. It will be fun to make that comeback, and we also have a great goalkeeper just in case. It's not like that shield. It's going to be a long day. But trust me. We also have a great striker, ha 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 ha. Looking at his black-haired companion who gave them a slight smile since he knew what his friends were like and he trusted them. Issei, okay guys, I wish you luck. Placing the hand in the center just like the new team where seconds later they raised it. Sometime later it was time for the second half. Commentator 1, while we have just been informed that there will be a change of the entire team, that is new. Commentator 2, maybe the new academy coach wants everyone to play at least. No one paid attention to the new team except for the students of the Sikh Academy since they knew who was coming and quickly started shouting to support them. Seconds later the team came out of the locker room seriously. The team of heroes were surprised because they knew some of them. Commentator 2, let's see what the second team is made of. Meliodas, what are you doing here? Meliodas, Sate, I'm glad to see you brother, ha 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 ha, and I thought we were going to play together. Sasuke, Naruto. He said it seriously because he was the one he least wanted to see. Naruto, Sasuke, today you will see how much I have improved. Commentator 1, good in goal with number 1. Naofumi. In defense with number 2 Asta and number 3 Inosuke and number 4 Yuno and 5 Luffy. In midfield with number 17 Naruto and the one who accompanies him with number 10 Meliodas and with number 15 Ban. And in the front the right winger with number 21 Tenjiro and on the left winger Natsu and in midfield with number 9 Tatsuya. Just after saying the names, the spectators at the Sikh Academy screamed at the top of their lungs, as did a group of girls who were the players' partners. Noel, crush it, Bakasta. Raftalia, you can do it now for me. Seconds later, everyone took their position and Sikh's Academy would begin. Before starting the game Tatsuya saw Tenjiro, and he just nodded to him. After Silvio Tatsuya passed the ball to Tanjiro, where he let out a sigh and ran off at full speed, leaving many surprised by his speed. After taking a few steps, he launched a cross that no one knew where it was going from the forwards. But the defenders saw how Tatsuya ran towards the center, and with a header delivered the first blow. Commentator 1-2, goal, goal. The entire crowd did not know what to say, as Siegfried was in shock and could only stand there. Commentator 2, what do I say, goal, it was a great goal. Commentator 1, before Tatsuya made the pass he saw his partner giving a signal. Commentator 2, I noticed that too. Those guys must have trained a lot. Commentator 1, yes, but now the score is 7-1. Seconds later Cao Cao moved the ball. Commentator 1, Cao Cao passes the ball, but what a mistake, since Ban stole it and passed it to his teammate Meliodas. Commentator 2, Meliodas gives the ball to Naruto and from outside the area he shoots and goal. Commentator 1, goalkeeper Siegfried couldn't get there in time. Maybe he thought he wouldn't have the courage to shoot, but it was a great goal. Commentator 2, in just 5 minutes the score is 7-2. Many in the stands were surprised as they did not expect that. Plus some academies, since they knew some members of the team. It will be an interesting tournament if he is here. How problematic, but we will win. Valley, so that academy has a good football team too. It will be interesting to play against them. Ichiro, that's what happens to Cao Cao for being confident. Valley, this is how second place behaves. Watching the match and how George and Cao Cao went against the goalkeeper, but what surprised him a little is that no one attacked him, so they left him aside. Seeing Nofumi with his arms crossed, he got upset and threw with all his strength, but he was very surprised to see how it was deflected with one hand. Asta took courage and threw it to Natu, who quickly started running and gave a pass to Meliodas, where Meliodas passed it to Tatsuya, and without thinking twice he threw it to a corner where it was the second goal. They have a great team. That striker will be a nuisance. I studied with him in high school and he has a good eye. He is analytical, so it is very difficult for him to fail. But you can handle the no. It's just a matter of seeing how much he has improved over the years. But what worries me is one thing. It's weird that you worry about anything. They're a great team and everything, but they're missing something. And that would be because from what I see they are playing well. They are missing a captain. I imagine he will not play this match. I see. Maybe they want to save their best player. Some people around heard their conversation and became tense since they knew what he was like. Ichiro, you are good as always, not for nothing are you my best archer Jumanji. Jumanji, it's better to be prepared. Vale, you forget that we have always been champions. And this year we have an even better team. Gray, I didn't think that idiot Natsu would play here, but it will be fun to see how he loses, ha 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 ha. Ichiro, well, it's better to get out of here. The result is obvious now that the new team has come in. Ko's team nodded and left, where no one noticed that a few steps above was Issei with a smile. Issei, see you Nissan, I'll give my all too. Remembering how he humiliated him in the past, and now it was his turn to do it, but on the pitch. The minutes passed and the match ended, where the team of heroes was on the ground with a lost look as they lost 20-7. Siegfried was the most shocked as he only heard goals every minute. Jiraiya was the one who laughed the most when he saw his rival in a mess where he didn't want to go because he wanted to enjoy the moment, but his students took him away. Upon returning to the academy they were defeated, where the group just nodded and went to train since the whistle had just started. Chapter 5. It was a new day and everyone was leaving school. Meliodas, hey Issei, let's play. Luffy, the mall is not far away. There are new games on the machines. Tatsuya, they like to lose, don't they? Ayaman, he's right, they're both bad. Asta, hey? You support me, right, Ban? Ban, sure, it will be fun. Nofumi, you are a thief. I still don't understand how you managed to get so many tickets. Ban, mysteries of life. Issei, ha 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 ha. He couldn't help but laugh at such a conversation, but when he looked ahead he saw someone he hadn't seen for a long time. Issei, guys, go on without me. Naruto, you're not alone, okay? Issei just nodded and everyone left, but not too far since they wanted to see what was going to happen. Issei approached his father where he had a serious look. Issei, yes. Garu, how dare you do that to your brother? Issei, I'm fine, thanks. Garu, I'm not here for your jokes. How dare you lie to us? Issei, I never lied. I trained a lot. Garu, don't make yourself important just to win that match. Issei, maybe he mentioned something about that. Garu, you better go and apologize to your brother and also quit basketball. Issei, are you an idiot? As soon as he finished saying those words, he slapped him. His closest friends were about to go beat Garu up, but the rest stopped them even though they also wanted to go. Garu, I am your father, how dare you speak to me like that? Issei, now you are my father, but before you weren't. You should decide who you are. Garu, do what I say before you bother me further. Issei, I won't do it, because I would have to do it. Believe it or not, I waited for them day after day at the doors of the orphanage thinking that they would come for me at least for Christmas, but in the end, nothing. Garu, so you're doing this for revenge? Issei, maybe? Garu, leave this antics behind and get back to the house. And you'll be banned from playing from now on. Issei, I don't have to listen to you. Besides, you recently told me to leave the clowning behind, and that's what I do. Garu, if you don't, I'll make your life miserable. Remember that I have a lot of influence, and I can make sure that no basketball team wants you. Issei, do it, I don't care. Garu, so that's what you want, fine. From now on you are forbidden to use my last name, since perhaps it is thanks to it that you have survived. Issei, not at all. Garu just snapped his fingers, and seconds later a man arrived with a paper in his hand where he told Issei. Issei, wow, you came prepared. Garu, do you think I'm playing? Issei, well, by signing this I will no longer have that last name. Garu, besides not receiving even a part of my inheritance, you also have to return all the cards you have to us. Issei signed the paper without hesitation, which surprised Garu since he thought it wouldn't have the value. Seconds later he gave the paper to Garu. Issei, so this is goodbye. Garu, this just means you'll be living in misery from now on. Also, give back every penny you've used. Issei, too bad for you, Mr. Hyoudou. I never used your money because I threw it into the sea. If you want to confirm, go to your bank, and if that's all, have a nice day. Passing in front of him. Garu, don't forget, Issei, your misery has just begun. Issei, tell that to your children since soon they will feel a true defeat. Garu just formed a smile but erased it when he saw how a group of boys surrounded Issei. Guys, he is not alone and we will help him fulfill his wish. Meliodas, they just saw our training a little while ago. Tatsuya, Issei is our friend. Sorry I was wrong, he is our brother. Having a smile just like the rest. Garu was about to say something, but at that moment the whole academy was outside. Kurumi, tell that idiot's girlfriend that things will get worse for her since she hurt my friend. You know, Issei is our friend and a friend is never abandoned. Garu, being by his side only misery awaits them. Yami, when you shut up, I'm tired of hearing your barking. Garu quickly turned around where he saw Yami with a cigar, and he was in shock since he knew who he was. Garu, Yami. Yami, long time no see, old man. Still resentful about how I kicked your ass in the past, ha 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 ha. Garu, you stoop so low to train a third-rate academy. Yami, you have to remember that I like to surpass my limits, and this is one of them. Since, as Issei said, from the lowest to the highest, ha ha ha. Garu didn't say anything else and left the place while hearing some laughter. Issei, guys, thanks. Natsu, we're brothers, right? Miyuki, don't be sad. Let's play, okay? Issei, you know I'm happy and the reason is because I'm free now, so let's play, I'll treat you. raising his fist just like the rest. Days went by and the friendlies continued where obviously only the substitutes played in the other sports, making the other academies happy since they thought they would not have any more players. The other teams such as football and basketball intensified their training to battle the Sikh Academy. Sometime later, the announcement of the competitors to play at the world level as representatives of Japan was made. Issei, well, our first game is baseball and it's against the Asgard Academy. We're lucky, aren't we? We'll be playing against the best, ha 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 ha. You're right. Issei, you have good pitchers and runners so you can't be too confident. They're also good at soccer and volleyball. It is an elite academy that was worth seeing. You won't play. Issei, sure, but first I'll watch to analyze their moves, and I also want to see how much they've improved. Ha 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 ha, you'll see that you won't be necessary. Issei, I hope so, and how are you girls? Well, it's not bad. It's a shame we won't face Ka. The only way to face them is in the final, so we'll have to wait. Kurumi, but we're going to play against each other's friends. The Haimajimas will be fun. Issei, good luck. Tatsuya, Jumanji is the archer of Ko Academy, he is good so you have to be careful. Akashi, I was also informed that new students have arrived these days. Issei, well, it was obvious that would happen. In part it's better that way they suffer even more. What better way than to crush them when their confidence is at its maximum? Issei, you are a diabolical being, ha 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 ha. I know, ha 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 ha. Issei, well then, all that's left is to prepare for tomorrow. Let's have a great match, guys. Putting your hand in front just like the baseball team. Hours later at the Asgard Academy, the entering Odin was showing his players videos of how each one from the Sikh Academy played. Thor, seriously, we're wasting our time here. They're bad at this sport. The only good thing they have is football and basketball. Odin, I know, at least I won't send the starters so that the best teams can rest. Loki, I'll throw so many balls at them that they'll be in shock, ha 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 ha. Odin, good luck guys and I hope for a good battle. Leaving the room like the rest of the players. Chapter 6. Issei had planned to go to the baseball game but the soccer coach arrived. Jiraiya, guys, I have news and it is that tomorrow there will also be a soccer match against the Olympus Academy. Natsu, it will be interesting. Jiraiya, what decision will you make? Issei, you can't be in two places at once. Issei, I will go. Have fun and don't forget that next time you'll be with us. Issei, guys, thank you. Shaking hands with the vice captain and going to watch the soccer team's plays. The next day both academies were in their warm-up section, while those from the Olympo Academy only looked at them seriously since they saw the previous match. After a few minutes each team went to their locker rooms to change. Issei, I wish you guys luck. Obviously not all the starters will play since everyone has the right to play. Jiraiya, you seem more like the technician. But that's better for me now than my job, ha 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 ha. Naruto, how lazy. Issei, no for me, Asta and Meliodas, you will be the starters since you will train the others during the match. Asta, I'm ready. Meliodas, what formation will we use? Issei, a 4-1-2-1-2. Asta, 2 forwards, this will be good. Issei, well guys, I wish you luck. Placing his hand in the center like the rest, minutes later both teams entered the stadium with a lot of support from the two academies and some scouts. Issei obviously stood next to Jiraiya to give some instructions. Commentator 1, on this occasion, the Sikh Academy will not be going with all of its members. Commentator 2, you're right, this is weird. Don't they know that if they lose this match, they're out? Commentator 1, this time the whole team can't be changed, but we'll see what happens with this team. Both Nofumi and Zeus were facing each other, as they were the captains. Zeus, they underestimate us if they don't send their entire team. Nofumi, we must also trust others. Zeus, I hope you're ready to go home for that silly thought. They shook hands and each went to their places. Seconds later the whistle blew for the start of the match. Elsewhere, Raphtalia was facing her enemy as well since she was enrolled in the fencing competition and her opponent was Zenobia Quarta. Zenobia, this will be interesting. Raphtalia, you're not good at the swordplay you do here. Zenobia, I like sword fighting and well I'm enrolled in everything that has to do with it. Raphtalia, I see. But I won't let myself be defeated so easily. Taking an attacking position just like his rival. Elsewhere Kurumi and Yuno were facing their two rivals as well. Kurumi, now we face the Hymajimas. Akeno, I hope you don't cry for losing. Rias lost because she was too confident. Suzaku, I like Rias and Laviana is my best friend so I can't let this go unnoticed. Taking the tennis ball and making the first serve. Returning to the football match, 20 minutes had already passed and the Olympus team was upset because even though they had not received any ball in the goal, they still had not scored since the goalkeeper was someone of great level. Hades received a pass from Hermes and, having only the ball, he kicked it towards the corner. But Nofumi jumped and managed to get it out in time. Hades seeing this could not hide his annoyance since he hated losing more than anyone else. Meliodas, it wasn't that bad. Nofumi, and you guys are doing more of your Asta. Asta, you're just so awesome ha 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 ha. Nofumi, better block. Taking position for the corner kick he took the ball and without wasting time he threw it to the forward who as soon as he took it turned around and started running. But after taking a few steps, Ares made a sweep that hit him in the knee. Everyone heard his screams of pain where without wasting time they went to see. Obviously, the Olympus players took the ball and shot it, scoring a goal that was valid for the referee. Both Issei and company went to see the condition of their partner. Jiraiya, how are you boy? Sorry sensei, I can't continue it hurts. Shedding a few tears as she covered her eyes with her hand. Jiraiya, you did well. Issei walked and stood in front of the referee. Issei, what's wrong with you? That was a foul. Referee, it was a fair play, and you better get back to your place or you'll do badly. Issei could notice a slight smile on the referee's lips and better return to his teammates. Issei, don't worry, you did a great job. Thank you. While she was taken to a doctor to be checked. Issei sensei, I'll go in. Clenching his fists as he was upset about what had happened. Jiraiya, good. Issei, you too Tatsuya. His friend just nodded and everyone returned to the bench. Seconds later the ball was thrown and the game started again. While Tatsuya warmed up a bit, and Issei tied his heels since he was ready. Asta seeing Issei noticed that he nodded so he took the ball and threw it out. Commentator 1, looks like a change is coming. Watching Tatsuya come in for the other striker, he then saw the other striker come in as number 7. Commentator 2, someone new. But both were surprised to see how Nofumi went up to him and gave him the captain's armband which surprised many. Asta, let the party begin. Looking at the clock that was barely 28 minutes in and the score was 1-0. Poseidon, so you're the real captain, I expect something good. Issei, I won't let you down. The referee started the match again with a throw-in by Olimpo. But as soon as he had the ball, Asta stole it and passed it high to Issei who brought it down on his chest. But Apollo and Hephaestus went to mark them but Issei easily humiliated them since he didn't even let the ball touch the ground. Already bored, he got rid of both of them and ran towards the goal, but when he was close, Ares made a tackle near the goal that this time the referee had to blow his whistle so as not to draw attention. He was a few inches from the goal as the others took position to head the ball. Tatsuya was next to Issei and seeing Issei's look he understood what he wanted to do so he nodded. At that the referee blew the whistle and Issei passed the ball to Tatsuya but instantly returned it to Issei who immediately hit the goal in the very corner. Commenter 1-2, goal. While Issei ran to the corner, and once there he made a great leap into the air just to show his sword, surprising many since only one person celebrates like that. Commentator 1, that was one of the best goals I've seen in a long time. Commentator 2, I guess Captain Issei is upset about what they did to his comrade. Commentator 1, well, it's obvious who wouldn't be if they hurt your teammate, especially seeing how the opponent didn't receive a card. Commentator 2, well, we just have to see how this match ends, since right now it's 1-1. In the field, Zeus looked at Issei with a serious look. The minutes passed and the first half ended in a 1-1 tie. Jiraiya, Sanji, you come in next? Sanji, it's about time. Stretching his legs to warm up a bit. Issei, Tatsuya, we have to use that shot. Tatsuya, I hope we get it right, but please don't say that. Issei, it's for better style, ha 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 ha. The group just laughed as they knew what they were talking about, and wanted to know what would happen. Sometime later the match started and Sanji entered as a midfielder alongside Meliodas. 10 minutes of the game had passed and nothing interesting had happened until Hermes caused a foul far from the area and took a free kick. Sanji, my time has come. Issei and company only had a drop of sweat upon hearing that, but they let it go and gave him the shot. Sanji took position and seconds later the referee blew his whistle, only to be in shock like everyone else when they saw the goal that was scored with a curve. Both Issei and the others went to hug their partner while listening to the shouts of joy from the public and the commentators. Hades, this won't stay like this, one more is nothing. Receiving Poseidon's pass and going on the attack, Naofumi once again stopped his shot. Only this time he took the ball and threw it far away, which was caught by Tatsuya. Issei now? Tatsuya just nodded and threw the ball into the air, and they both jumped. Issei, Sendukai! Where both of them hit the ball with all their might. The shot was so powerful that the goalkeeper had no time to react. While the commentators only shouted goal at the top of their lungs upon seeing such a combination. While his companions laughed at Issei for saying the word, Tatsuya only let out a sigh at what happened. The minutes passed and the match ended as Issei took a defense position to practice with a score of 3-1. Elsewhere, Zenobia was lying on the ground as she looked up only to see Raphtalia pointing her sword at her with a serious look. Kurumi and Yuno just blew on their rackets as they saw how both were on the ground crying over the defeat plus Akeno, which was satisfactory for both. Chapter 7. After the demonstration of the captain of the Sikh Academy, many were surprised by his great talent, especially the two brothers when seeing his talent, causing the fury of the Hyoudou family. Issei and company on the other hand just celebrated their victory, as usual partying like crazy. Days later Issei and Naofumi were called to the principal's office, which seemed strange to them but they went anyway. When they arrived they saw Jiraiya. Issei, something bad is happening. Jiraiya, the opposite, ha 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 ha, is good news. You two were called up to the Japan U17 team to play in the World Cup. Both of them, upon hearing that, couldn't help but smile big. Jiraiya, great, no. For the moment the matches will be suspended since most of the students will return to their countries to play since most of your classmates were also called up. Naofumi, wow, this will be great. Issei, we are one step ahead. Issei, my dream has always been to play for the national team and lift that cup, but for now we have to think about what we have ahead of us. Jiraiya, you will be given permission, so I wish you guys luck. Stretching out both hands, the two young men took each other and then left. Upon reaching their rooms, they gave the great news that made everyone happy. Asta, ha 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 ha, we are going to defeat you Issei well if we face each other. Here some of Sikh's team will be from other countries. You can decide which country. Asta defense. Inosuke defense. Yuno wing. Luffy wing. Ban, Saji midfield. Naruto, Arita midfield. Meliodas midfield. Tanjiro winger. Tatsuya DC Natsu X. Those are the players. I hope for your support and thank you. Tanjiro, good luck to everyone, okay? Putting his hand in front of everyone else and then raising it to the sky, the teacher upon seeing that just let out a sigh to free them up for the afternoon since he was partly happy. At the start, everyone went their separate ways, promising to compete in the World Cup. Days later Issei and company were entering the training camp to see their teammates. Ichiro, wow, to think you'd come. Issei, act like a professional, leave your personal matters off the court. Walking past his brother, making him upset, but he pushed it aside to get back to training. After a short talk by the coach, everyone went to train. Ichiro, this is my last game here before I go to the U21s. Issei, what does that have to do with me? Ichiro, you'll just be a hindrance. Why don't you just stay in basketball? Just because you played a good game doesn't make you special. Issei, you don't know anything about me. Going to another place to meet his teammates, the days passed and the team began to play friendlies with other countries where the captain was Ichiro, who rubbed it in Issei's face, but he did not take it much importance. As the days went by, the time came when many went to support the youngsters. Obviously some did not have much hope since they were always eliminated in the group stage. Well guys, the formation will always be the same, 4-4-2. Issei, coach, we have to use another formation since watching old videos he always uses the same one and many already know that type of game. Issei, you have no word here, you forget who the coach is, the only thing you have to do is follow orders. Ichiro heard only a smile where Issei only let out a sigh and then nodded. Seconds later everyone went out onto the field. Commentator 1. It's a nice evening here in the United States where this Youth World Championship is taking place. Commentator 2. What promising youngsters we will see here. Today, the Japanese team will face one of the favorites, Brazil. Commentator 1. This will be an interesting match. Who will be the one to take the title home? Seconds later, both teams entered and played each of their national anthems. Now for me, is it just me or does that old man have something against us? Issei, the influences are speaking. Now for me, not your former parents. Issei, yes, but well, it doesn't matter anymore, let's watch this match. The truth is that I've always wanted to wear this uniform, ha 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 ha. The minutes passed and there was no change in the score until seconds later Luis Gustavo from Brazil launched a cross that Endrick managed to nail, opening the scoring. Instantly you could hear the Brazilians shouting with joy as their team was winning. Issei could notice how Ichiro approached the defense to yell at them since he was blaming them. The first half ended and they went to the break. What kind of mistake was that? Are they all idiots? The starters just lowered their heads except for the captain, who was just upset. If we keep playing like this we won't get very far, do you understand? All yes, coach. Resting a little before going out onto the field again and starting the second half. 20 minutes of the second half passed and the scoreboard did not move where the coach, with no other option, let out a sigh to approach Issei. Start warming up, you come in at 5. Issei just nodded and then stood up and started his warm-up, where Ichiro became upset when he saw that because they were going to put him in the ball, but because he was focused on Issei he didn't realize that he no longer had the ball at his feet. Minutes later Issei was ready to enter. Commentator 1. The last change for the Japan national team will be a forward. Commentator 2. It was obvious that young Ichiro is already feeling tired, and there are 2 more games. The referee gave the signal where Ichiro passed the captain's armband to another of his teammates, and then left all annoyed, bumping into Issei's shoulder, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Issei, taking just one step onto the grass, let out a sigh and started running to retrieve the ball. The minutes passed and Issei realized that not many wanted to give him the ball, but he didn't give it much importance, and continued with his thing. There were only 2 minutes left in the match when a foul occurred and all the Japanese players took position as Fujita took the shot. Nishikawa managed to get a header on the ball but it wasn't enough, but the ball was heading towards Issei where he turned around to take a bicycle kick and score the equalizer. Issei quickly ran out of joy as it was his first goal with the national team. Commentator 1. What a blow in the last few minutes. The Japanese fought until the last minute, and in the end they were rewarded. Commentator 2. You noticed that the young man was up and down. Not every striker does that, as he demands a lot. But this young man has a lot of energy, and that's good to see. Seconds later the final whistle blew, leaving the score at 1-1. Now Fumi, you did great. Shaking hands with his partner, little by little some arrived to congratulate him and apologize for his attitude. Issei just smiled at them since he wanted to make friends with everyone so he could play well. Ichiro was very upset to see that thanks to Issei they managed to at least get the tie. Ichiro, don't get too excited Issei, I have friends in other countries too, and the good thing is that we will face one of them in the next match. Have fun, since the next match will be the last in your career." He went to the locker room with a smile because he didn't want anyone to take his place. Chapter 8. A few days passed, and the team was ready for their next match. "If we don't win this match, we'll be one step further out of the round of 16. Ichiro, we'll do our best, don't worry, okay? We are going to face a powerful Holland that massacred its previous rival. I hope you don't play as badly as in the previous match." They all nodded as the coach left, and they put on their uniforms. Commentator 1. "Today we will see a great match. What do you think about this match, my friend?" Commentator 2. "Everyone is rooting for Holland, and I'm not lying too. The team has elite players, even though they are young. Japan was lucky not to lose in the previous match." Commentator 1. "It will be a life or death match for the Japanese, but well, leaving the chatter aside, it's time for this match to start." Watching both teams enter the field and then listen to their respective anthems, at the end the referee blew the whistle to start the match. Commentator 1. "I find it strange not to see Issei when he did well in the previous match." Commentator 2. "He is someone new and the coach does not have much confidence in him like he did with the young Ichiro, who already has a contract signed with Napoli, one of the great clubs in Europe." The match continued with Ichiro running while one of his teammates threw a cross that he couldn't reach and went out. Both Issei and Naofumi watched as Ichiro approached his teammate to yell at him for the bad center. The Dutch goalkeeper quickly cleared the ball where Leyenda ran at full speed and sent in a cross that Grendel headed in to score the first goal. Instantly, shouts of joy could be heard as some Japanese players approached their goalkeeper. Commentator 2. "It was a great counterattack that ended in a great goal. The bad thing is that the goalkeeper was injured when he collided with the player." Commentator 1. "It doesn't look very good, especially when you see how they carried the stretcher." The coach was a little frustrated to see that they were losing and that he had lost his star goalkeeper. "Naofumi, get ready, come in." Issei just extended his hand that his partner shook just to see how his friend warmed up a bit before jumping onto the playing field. Elsewhere, a girl was screaming with joy, leaving her companions a little deaf. "Serafal, don't worry, you'll make me deaf." Raftalia, "Naofumi is going to enter in his first match, and you acted worse than me." Kurumi, "It's true. You know, we just have to support our friends because if we continue like this, they could be left out." Serafal, "Let's trust them." The minutes passed. It was already the 40th minute when Yamato no Orochi gave a pass to Crom Cruash where he formed a smile since he had more than enough space. Without thinking much, he launched the shot to the very corner, while he was preparing to scream, but in that Naofumi stretched out, taking the ball and going to the corner kick. Naofumi only stood up to raise his fist to the sky, where Raftalia screamed with excitement again, although this time the screams did so too. The corner kick was taken and Naofumi managed to get the ball and then kick it far away, stopping Ichiro, who quickly ran, but it was of little use as Azi Dahaka stopped him. Minutes later the first half came to an end and many congratulated Naofumi for stopping the previous shot. Commentator 2, "Wow, those last few minutes were heart-stopping, especially seeing young Naofumi manage to get the ball out of the box that was sure to go in for a goal." Commentator 1, "At the moment, Japan is not worried about its defense but about its forward line, which is not performing as it should." Commentator 2, "Young Ichiro is not having a good match, but I know he will recover in the second half." Minutes later the players entered the field again, only this time Issei was also alone as a right winger. Commentator 2, "There was a change. It's time to see how Issei plays with Ichiro. Maybe they will be a duo if they can understand each other." Seconds later the second half began, and Holland took him off. Commentator 1, "Japan manages to recover the ball. Keita passes to Issei, who runs at full speed, gives way to Ichiro but he fails to intercept the ball." Commentator 2, "Holland runs with Leyenda but the right winger Issei sticks to him, causing Leyenda to fall to the ground and being a shot for the Dutch." Crom Cruash, "You're not that bad but you won't get far like this, ha ha ha." Issei, "The match is just starting." Azi Dahaka, "You will lose as always, so you better give up." Issei didn't say anything and went to take his position. Minutes later, Hikaru manages to give a pass to his partner. Commentator 2. Kakeru brings the ball down and passes it to Issei, who heads it towards Ichiro. The young man is alone and this will be the tie, but Ichiro gets tangled up getting the ball out. Commentator 1. It was a sure goal, but the young man got tangled up and the match remains 1-0. Commentator 2. If this continues, Japan would be in third place since Brazil is beating Australia 3-0. The match continued and Apophis gives the step to Krom Kruesh, who is alone. Commentator 1. Krom Kruesh goes alone, the defense can't touch him, the forward is ready to increase the difference. Now Fumi is alone against the player, and this smells like a goal. Commentator 2. Krom Kruesh throws and it's not a goal. Now Fumi manages to get it out with his leg, it's a miracle. Commentator 1. This archer will give me a heart attack if he does these things. Commentator 2. Many would have given up at this, but the substitute goalkeeper managed to clear the ball away, giving his team hope. 15 minutes left in the match. Kakeru was running down the right wing where Issei was in the center. His teammate saw Issei nod and without hesitation he threw the cross. Issei without thinking took a big jump while being surrounded by defenders. Commentator 2. Issei just made a huge leap and this is goal. Commentator 1. What a goal, the defense didn't stop that jump. The goalkeeper could only watch as the ball entered the goal without being able to do anything. Many players ran to Issei to hug him and congratulate him for the goal he had just scored. The match continued and most of the substitutes and fans were scared of being left out as there were only 2 minutes of added time left. Commentator 1. Issei recovers the ball in midfield and leaves everyone behind. Commentator 2. Everyone charges at the striker but Issei takes them away. Issei is outside the area and leaves everyone lying there. Commentator 1. The forward comes out to take the ball away from him but Issei avoids it. He is alone and he shoots and it is. Commentator 1-2. Issei just jogged while calming down the fans who were screaming with excitement. Commentator 1. The hero of Japan has come out and his name is Issei. In a house a group of girls screamed with excitement seeing such a play, just like in other houses being Issei's friends when they saw that their brother put the team on his shoulders. Obviously Garu, Mickey and June were a bit upset to see that Issei was taking away Ichiro's fame. He on the other hand just looked at Issei with a look of wanting to kill him. The game continued until it reached the end. Commentator 1. This has been a unique match to watch. Commentator 2. The Japanese had everything against them but managed to get ahead with the young Issei who achieved the tie and tiebreaker. Commentator 1. Japan is currently in second place with Brazil in first. With that said, good evening and thank you for following us on this match. Sometime later the group was walking to the bus ready to leave but the reporter stopped them. Issei, how does it feel to score the winning goal? In the next match you will be a starter. You have scored 3 goals while in 6th place. Many did not understand what they were saying since the coach was speaking in English and was about to respond but Issei got ahead of them. Issei, everything is in the hands of the coach. As long as he gives me the opportunity one will give my all. And forgive me but I'm a little tired, have a good night. He left for the bus and left some people surprised by his excellent English. The days passed and the match against Australia took place, which Japan won with a score of 1-0, with Ichiro scoring the goal and Issei not playing a single minute, leaving some fans sad. In addition, Holland beat Brazil 2-1. At the end of all the matches, the draw for the following matches was held. Issei and Naofumi shared rooms until they received a call. And to think that we would cross paths soon, ha 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 ha. We are friends but also rivals, ha ha ha, this will be fun. Issei, ha 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 ha, they won't have it that easy, we will give our all. Naofumi, prepare yourselves. See you guys in 2 days. Ending the call where Issei approached the window to see the lights. Issei, I promised them that I wasn't going to lose and I will give my all so that doesn't happen. I hope for your help, friend. Naofumi, that's right, and if we leave quickly, Raftalia will cry more than me. They both just laughed, and then went to sleep and prepared to face? Chapter 9. The Japanese were training as usual. Issei was running with the ball until a defender lunged at him, causing Issei to fall to the ground while holding his leg. Naofumi, seeing that, quickly went to see how his partner was doing and noticed some small smiles, but he didn't pay attention to it and helped him get up to take him to the doctor. It's bad news. Issei, what's wrong? Well, they're not that bad, but if you run too much you could really get hurt. I'm sorry, but you won't be able to play in the next match. Issei, I see. If you qualify you will be able to play the next one. Issei just nodded and then stood up with the help of his friend. While they did so, Ichiro had a slight smile, but Issei didn't say anything. Naofumi, they went too far this time. Issei, it's okay, don't worry. Putting his hand on his friend's shoulder. Issei, it all depends on you. Naofumi, it won't be that easy, but don't worry, we will give our all. Showing him the fist that Issei bumped into, the next day the teams were training. Commentator 1. Welcome to this beautiful night where two great teams will face each other, Japan versus Spain. Commentator 2. All bets are against Spain due to their perfect run in their group and not having conceded a single goal. Commentator 1. What can you tell me about its stars? Commentator 2. The Spanish have their two forwards, Gray and Natsu, a lethal combination in defense, and Laxus, who has been in charge of stopping everyone who crosses his path along with his friends. On the Japanese side, they have Naofumi, a goalkeeper who has given his all, being a revelation in this World Cup, and Hyoudou Issei, a world-class player up front. Unfortunately, Issei was removed from the list of starters and substitutes because he had a slight injury during training. Commentator 1. It's a shame, but that's football. Please don't leave, there's an elite match coming up. The minutes passed until the match began and the Spaniards were the ones to kick off. Serafal, Issei didn't tell me what happened to him, this worries me. Kurumi, it shouldn't be anything bad, stay calm, we have to trust that things will pass. Lucy, we are friends but we are going to win. Raphtalia, you forget who's in goal. Many girls saw Lucy where she better not say anything and continued watching the game with her friends. Commentator 1. Jalal recovers the ball and passes it to Natsu, the pink-haired boy is alone and shoots. Commentator 2. But Naofumi came out and managed to get the ball out in time, a second later, and it would have been a sure goal. Lucy, seeing that, was about to shout goal, but when she saw how Naofumi took the ball out she held back while Raphtalia screamed with excitement. The group was preparing for the corner kick. Natsu, it's a shame Issei isn't here, but hey, I won't score too many goals against you at least, ha ha ha. Naofumi, try it. Where the ball was in the air that Naofumi grabbed to throw it far away landed near Ichiro. Commentator 2. Ichiro carries the ball in front of two defenders, manages to evade one. Commentator 1. Unfortunately he loses the ball since Laxus managed to take it from him in time. Ichiro got up from the ground annoyed but didn't say anything when he saw the blonde-haired boy's serious look. The first half ended and the score was still 0-0. After the break the second half began. Issei was with the other players supporting his teammates. Commentator 2. Gray takes it, passes it to Happy, it's 2 against 2, this could change the score. Commentator 1. Happy gives the ball to Gray but then Ichiro came making a tackle causing Gray to fall inside the area, and the referee instantly blew the penalty. Commentator 2. The referee blew the whistle for a penalty. Commentator 1. The youngster had no choice but to make that tackle. Everything is in the hands of the Japanese goalkeeper now. Naofumi, on the other hand, had a serious look while Gray put the ball in the center since he was going to throw it. Raphtalia just put both hands together to wish her beloved luck. Issei just stood up to see what would happen. Seconds later the referee blew the whistle for a shot to the left that Naofumi managed to guess, and that he managed to save with difficulty, making him go bugle. Instantly the screams of the Japanese were heard everywhere as well as a group of girls. Issei just jumped in excitement seeing how good his partner was. Natsu just gave his friend a thumbs up for the save. The minutes passed and the second half ended, sending the game into overtime. Commentator 1. This is the first match that is going to be prologued, this is getting interesting. Commentator 2. We just have to wait. When the whistle blew to start the first half of extra time, the minutes passed, and no one stopped until it ended and the second half of extra time began. Natsu took the ball and ran at full speed, leaving the defenders aside, but then Naofumi came out to take the ball from his feet, causing them both to fall to the ground. Raphtalia was scared when she saw that, as was Lucy, but when she saw that seconds later they both stood up, she let out a sigh. The second half was about to end where 4 minutes were added. Ichiro was upset as he couldn't do much and was tired. It was a corner kick for Japan where everyone took position. Commentator 1. What is that? Until the Japanese goalkeeper came up to help. Commentator 2. It's your last chance because after this corner there are penalties. Commentator 1. The ball is thrown into the air, everyone runs towards it and the person who touches it is Naofumi, and it is. Commentator 1 to 2. Instantly Naofumi ran towards his great friend while the others followed him to congratulate him. Raphtalia. She told it to Lucy in hatred where she just covered her eyes so as not to hear her. After the celebration, everyone took position where Gray moved the ball, but then the referee blew the final whistle, and many fell to the ground, especially the Spanish. Natsu was lying on the floor holding back the urge to cry while covering his face with his arms. Issei, you did well, friend. Natsu, if it weren't for Naofumi we would have won. Issei, you gave it your all. See you at school. Extending his arm, Natsu took it with a smile and then went back to the dressing room. Obviously all the reporters went to Naofumi to congratulate him. Naofumi, I promised a good friend that I would give my all to get us through, and I kept my promise. Issei, let's go to the quarterfinals. Giving a thumbs up and then walking away. A few days later Issei had the ball in his legs ready to start the quarterfinals. This is as far as you go. Today you will feel a defeat that will leave you traumatized. Issei, less talk and more football. Giving the ball to his teammate. Chapter 10. At the end of the match against Spain, the team went to rest except for Issei, who continued training to be able to play his next match. After 2 hours of rest he went to his room, and when he was about to sleep he received a video call from his partner which made him happy. Issei, wow, she's the prettiest girl in the world. Serafal, Issei-chan, I miss you. Issei, what's going on? Serafal, can't I call my partner or are you with someone? Issei, seriously. Serafal, ha 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 ha, I'm joking, and how are you? Issei, well, I just have to train and I'll be fine for the next match. Serafal, don't worry, you have a long way to go. Issei, and to think that a serious girl like you would be so affectionate, ha 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 ha. Serafal, hey. Issei, sorry but okay, I'll rest a little, I'm a little sleepy. Serafal, it's okay and dream about me, okay? Issei, don't hesitate. Ending the call and then resting. 3 days passed and the long-awaited match arrived. Commentator 1. One of the great days has arrived. Commentator 2. Today, a powerful Japan that has come far will face one of the big favorites, England, one of the teams that is sweeping everyone away. Commentator 1. It's also a big surprise to see that Ichiro will rest for this match and his replacement will be Issei. Commentator 2. He managed to recover from his little lesson and today he will show why he should be the starter. The entire audience watched the players warm up as the minutes passed and everyone went to the locker rooms to change, and some time later everyone came out. Arthur, this is as far as they go. Issei, less talk and more football. Passing the ball to his teammate to start the match. Ichiro was upset to know that he wouldn't be able to play, but he didn't express it because he was upsetting some of the English players, and if they lost he would blame Issei. Commentator 2. The ball is carried by Captain Michael, he crosses it, Raphael jumps and it goes goal. Instantly all the players went to hug their teammate, while at the same time the fans shouted with excitement knowing that they had a place in the semifinals. Naofumi just grabbed the ball and then gave it to one of his teammates. At the whistle, Samuel ran to the person Issei gave the ball to, only to take it from him and run towards the goal, leaving all the defenders aside. Issei seeing that was about to run, but Michael and Arthur stood in front of him blocking his way. Samuel ran at full speed, leaving all the defenders lying on the ground, and then he was in front of the goalkeeper, leaving him lying on the ground, and scored the second goal for the English. Instantly many shouts of joy could be heard, while some Japanese just lowered their heads as it was becoming impossible to tie the score. Dulio, better give up, at least you got far, ha 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 ha. Issei did not say anything as he put the ball in the center and started the match. The minutes passed and the first half ended with a score of 2-0 in favor of the English. Coach, they are useless. If they keep playing like this, they will only make us leave here humiliated. But, Coach, no buts, the only thing I want to hear is that they are going to win. No one said anything, and then we saw the technician leave the room, leaving a great silence. Ichiro, you're unlucky, Issei, you just arrived and look what happened. Issei, what do you want? Ichiro, you're doing it terribly. That's all I wanted to tell you. When Somo finished saying that, he left the room laughing. Time passed and everyone left to start the second half. England took the ball out to go straight at their rival, leaving everyone else aside. Michael passed the ball to Uriel where he was about to shoot. Naofumi seeing that was about to dive, but Uriel formed a slight smile and then passed it to Arthur, who just having the ball took the shot, giving the 3-0. It was all joy for the English while Naofumi was lying on the ground while covering his face with his arm. Issei, Naofumi, the match has just started. As long as there is time, there are still opportunities. Naofumi, it won't be that easy. Issei, I know, but we have to give it our all. Taking the ball in his arms as he ran to start, Naofumi only saw his teammates back, but seeing how confident he was, so he let out a sigh and took position as well. Commentator 2, England are in the semifinals if they maintain this score. Commentator 1, it's impossible for them to tie in the 40 minutes left. Watching the game while everyone ran on the court until Issei had the ball at his feet and then ran and left some people lying, causing them to be upset by such humiliation. Everyone was protecting the goalkeeper while Issei without hesitation outside the area launched the shot that went well cornered. Metatron launched himself, but it was of no use since the ball had already entered. Issei didn't pay much attention to it and went to take the ball to the center of the field. Commentator 2, it was a good goal, although it wasn't enough, but at least they won't leave empty-handed. Arthur just looked angrily at Issei and then passed it to his teammate and continued with the game, but Issei took the ball from Samuel, leaving him on the ground and running. Commentator 2, Issei has the ball outside the area. Michael approaches him. Issei without hesitation throws the ball towards the goal, which took a curve and it assists goal. Commentator 1, what a goal. Metatron failed to arrive in time and forward Michael failed to get the ball away from young Issei, which for now makes the score 3-2. The Japanese fans saw this and began to cheer their team on, as they had a chance. The English became more serious in order to serve the ball and then close down and not make any more mistakes. The minutes passed and Issei was going against the goal surrounded by 3 defenders, and when he was about to shoot he left the ball behind to give it to his teammate, who without hesitation shot, giving the 3-3. Instantly all the fans shouted with excitement, as did some people who were watching the game at home. Commentator 2, what's going on here? The Japanese just tied the score 3-0. This is something unique to see. I was amazed, just like many others. The match continued, with only 6 minutes of added time remaining. Issei had the ball where he passed near his teammates. Ichiro, someone stop him. He said this while shouting, where Dulio, without hesitation, made a tackle, causing the ball to go out and earning a yellow card. There were only a few seconds left before the match ended. One of the Japanese launched a shot that the goalkeeper managed to clear by clearing the ball. All the fans were nervous, but they saw how Issei launched a bicycle kick almost from half court in the direction of the goal, where one of the English defenders tried to take it out but failed. Commenter 1-2, Commentator 2, now that was a great goal, this will go down in history. Meanwhile the referee ended the match. Instantly everyone went to Issei, who was lying on the ground, to throw themselves on top of him in excitement for having made it to the semi-finals. Commentator 1. Today was one of those magical nights where everything was in favor of the English, but with Issei's leadership they managed to tie and break the tie to then move on to the semi-final. Commentator 2. The next match will be between Japan and a powerful? And with today's match being the winners with the Japanese by a score of 3-4, we say goodnight. Both Issei and company stood in front of their fans to applaud them while receiving many praises. Chapter 11. The news of Japan's big game was reported in all the newspapers around the world, causing many major league teams to begin looking for information about Issei since he had been the hero of the night. The Hyoudou family was upset to learn that Issei was gaining more fame, so upset was Ichiro that he hit one of the weights, hurting his foot. In the end, the doctor told him he couldn't play for 3 weeks, making his frustration even greater. It was the day of the match between Japan and France. Issei, and to think I would have a match with you guys. Asta, ha 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 ha, this is as far as you go, my friend. Luffy, we won't humiliate you, I promise. Now for me, that's what I should say. Issei, I wish you guys luck. His friends told him this while they were in the tunnel, where seconds later both teams took to the field. Commentator 1. Today 2 great teams are looking to make it to the grand final. Commentator 2. Both teams have 2 good forwards, but France has the best defense in the competition with only 1 goal. Commentator 1. What kind of difficulties await the Japanese striker? After hearing both national anthems, the referee started the match by taking out France. Luffy quickly gave the pass to his teammate Sanji to continue with his match. Minutes passed and the one who had taken the most shots was France, but now Fumi managed to get them out. Both Raphtalia and Seraphol were biting their nails out of nervousness. Like other girls who supported the other team like Nami, Boa Hancock. The first half ended and everything was still 0-0. Issei, if it weren't for you guys we would be losing right now. It's thanks to Naofumi that they're great, although Sanji's shots are lethal. Naofumi, I know, be careful guys. Issei, guys, let's do our best to reach the finals. Placing his hand in the center just like the rest. Before they left they gave him the captain's armband where he just gave them a smile. Sometime later the second half began and the match was still 0-0, the fans only encouraged their teammates. Commentator 2, and we're going into overtime. Who would have thought that neither team would do any damage? Commentator 1, it was a difficult match for Japan because of France's defense, and the French have a tough time because of goalkeeper Naofumi, and even the forwards come down to help him. Commentator 2, if this continues there will be penalties. The referee started the second half, where everyone ran for the ball. The first overtime ended and nothing happened, and then the second one started. The coaches shouted at their players to be faster. Commentator 2, Issei brings the ball, Yuno gets to the line but Issei evades it causing the defender to fall to the ground. The forward shoots and it's Gyo. Commentator 1, the Japanese have the window with a great play by Issei. The score is 1-0. Only 4 minutes remain until this match comes to an end. All the Japanese fans could only watch the clock as the match came to an end until. Commentator 2, and that's the end. The Japanese are moving on to the grand final. The players began to shout with excitement at having come so far while the French were on their knees or lying down. Issei, I'm sorry. You know, that's football, today you lose but tomorrow you win. Issei, thank you. Luffy, good luck in the finals. Issei, thank you. Going to celebrate with his companions. Time passed and Issei found out who he would be in the finals with. Issei, this match won't be so easy. Letting out a sigh and then going to sleep, the grand finale took place later where the state was packed and it was only one color, white. Commentator 2, today we will see a big surprise of the World Cup, Japan facing the favorite Germany. Commentator 1, the Japanese will take to the field in a 4-3-2-1 formation. The only striker will be Issei, the great promise of the World Cup. Commentator 2, and on the German side they have the great duo of forwards, Vala Lucifer being the grandson of great stars, and the one who accompanies him is Shiba Tatsuya. In goal is one of the great goalkeepers, Jumanji. In the middle are the brothers Meliodas and Zeldris. Commentator 1. The truth is that Japan will not have it easy with so many rising stars. Issei, on the other hand, was warming up on the grass where he looked at Tatsuya to nod at him. Now Fumi, it won't be that easy. Issei, don't worry, we'll take care of you. Both of their shots aren't childish things. Now Fumi, I know. Good luck. Bumping his fist with his partner, and then going to put on his uniform just like Issei. The black-haired boy was looking at his uniform with the number 7 and the captain's band. After letting out a sigh, he put on the armband and left to start the match. Valley, and to think I would face you, ha 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 ha, this will be fun. Issei, same here. Valley, it's a shame I won't see my partner, but you know, he told me that I would have to make you cry. Issei didn't say anything and both teams went out onto the field to hear the screams of the fans. Seconds later the match took place with the Japanese moving where Zeldris passed to his brother, and then ran off leaving several people lying there. Seconds later he passed the ball back to his brother who was on the right wing to launch a cross that Naofumi barely managed to get out. Vale, enjoy because soon you will feel the terror. The archer didn't say anything and took position. Instantly the center was carried out that Tatsuya headed where Naofumi stretched, but it was of no use. When the ball went in, everyone shouted with excitement as Germany had the lead. Commentator 2. We're not even 10 minutes into the game, and the score has been opened by Tatsuya. Commentator 1. The Japanese goalkeeper did his best, but in the end it was all for naught. Issei passed the ball to his teammate to continue the game. The minutes passed and the Germans were in control of the ball. Vale only played with the average of the Japanese team, and then left them behind. Some time later the referee blew the whistle as the first half had come to an end. Technician, what's up guys, they're playing with you. Issei, they have a great midfielder as well as a great archer, do they think we're just playing around? We were all giving our all. Technician, what right do you have to criticize me? You forget who is in charge here. Issei, the only thing we expect from you is your support, not bad vibes like now. The technician didn't say anything and left the room upset, since they didn't want to pay any attention to him. Issei just laid back on the bench to think of a plan. The minutes passed and the second half began. Commentator 2, Keita carries the ball and is ready to pass it, but the German defender makes a tackle and it is a free kick. Commentator 1, he's so far away from the goal, I don't think young Issei can do much. Issei on the other hand let out a sigh. Some time later the referee gave the signal where the young man shot straight to the corner, scoring the tying goal. The shouts did not take long to arrive as the match had been tied. Jumanji just let out a sigh as he couldn't do it. Minutes passed and Vala was upset because of Naofumi he couldn't do much. So he saw one of his companions who nodded at him where he received the same blow. Issei was carrying the ball but Zeldris made a sweep causing number 7 to fall to the ground. The referee blew his whistle for them to stop as Issei's teammates arrived to see their captain. Zeldris was only given 1 yellow. Tatsuya, Issei, are you okay? Issei, my leg hurts. Enduring the pain, Vala, who was in the distance, had a smile as his plan had worked. The fans were scared of losing their striker, and their fear increased when they saw more people arriving with a stretcher. Before the commentator could continue speaking, his microphone was taken away. Cristiano, come on Issei, don't give up, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Everyone, upon hearing that voice and how his face was on the screen, was surprised to see him. Messi, you can give a lot of yourself. The surprise only increased when they saw 2 big stars supporting one person. Many began to wonder who the Japanese striker really was. Cristiano, don't forget you are Issei dos Santos Aveiro. Many were surprised to finally hear Issei's full name plus the Hyoudou. Issei just formed a smile to see the public, more specifically a banner of support, as well as seeing his partner who supported him. Issei, I'll be fine. Taking a leap to show that he had nothing, the fans applauded him for his courage. Some time later the match continued. Obviously Issei was in pain, but he managed to resist it. The 2 elders took their seats as commentators as well. Commentator 1, Issei takes the ball. Commentator 2, the defender sticks to the forward. Issei throws the ball further, runs out of bounds and runs faster. Vala, take him down. He said this very annoyed while running at full speed like the rest. Messi, he is against the goal. Messi Cristiano, goal. Issei ran celebrating and then jumped, making Cristiano smile and take the microphone to stand up. Issei Cristiano, yes. Everyone ran towards Issei to throw him to the ground until Naofumi, since he was proud of his friend. Sarah Fall and company screamed at the top of their lungs while she had some tears for the effort her beloved was making. The match continued some time later with only 5 minutes of play. Vala did everything he could to tie the game, but it was of little use until the referee blew the final whistle. Issei just fell to the ground as he could not stand up from the pain. Everyone approached him and lifted him up to throw him into the sky, since everything was possible thanks to him. Tatsuya, see you at school. Issei, see you later. Fist bumping his friends and then going off to celebrate. Seconds later they were given the cup, which Issei raised with great joy. While everyone was taking photos, the reporters approached the forward. It must be the happiest moment of your life. Issei, yes, and I owe this success to my parents and also to the support of the person I love the most. Without them I wouldn't have been able to get ahead. Now that you won the U17 World Cup, what are your plans? Issei, I'll continue in school since we have a lot of tournaments. And then only God knows what the future holds for me. As my uncle said, you have to live in the present and leave the future aside. Going to celebrate with his friends. The next day the news that Issei was the son of one of the great legends was more shocking than the final of the U17 World Cup. Issei didn't take it too seriously since he had his first trophy. He obviously didn't waste any time as all of his friends congratulated him, and he also comforted some of his friends for leaving him out. Naruto, I would have liked to face you, but Tatsuya left us out. Issei, next time, ha ha ha. And what are the plans? Issei, preparing for tournaments and also enjoying student life. Giving a smile that his friends returned. End. Months passed and Sikh Academy swept all the tournaments, being the star in all. Issei. Many were in shock for his skills in all the games. Sarah Fall eventually transferred to another school to spend more time with her friends and her lover. Obviously she was happily welcomed back. In the final, Sikh faced Ko, where they won with a score of 4-1 with Naruto, Tatsuya, Tanjiro and Sanji scoring hits. Issei only played halftime since he wanted to rest a bit. It was graduation day and all the young people were in tears as their heroes were about to leave. Issei, they were good times, but it's time to say goodbye. Senpai, we are going to release it. More of Asta Senpai's crazy antics. Asta, and that's the only reason they'll remember me. Everyone nodded in confirmation, causing some to just laugh. Sarah Fall, what are your plans? Issei. Issei, the team called me and they have something important to tell me. Tatsuya, I've already signed a contract with Manchester City. I'm leaving for England tomorrow. Naofumi, I'm leaving for Bayern Munich. Asta, ha ha, we will be indestructible, partner. Naofumi, I hope you help me, ha 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 ha. Naruto, I'm going to Italy. The truth is I'll play with a club that I've always liked, and it's Milan. Everyone was giving their clubs and basketball or baseball teams until everyone saw Issei. Meliodas, and you. Issei, I'm still thinking about it, and my uncles are pressuring me to choose. Shido, that's bad, but you alone know, right? Issei, that's right. Putting his hand in the center just like his entire generation. Issei, I wish you guys the best of luck in your dreams. I hope to see you on the battlefield. Tatsuya, you'll have everything to lose. Luffy, ha 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 ha. Everyone raised their hands to the sky and seconds later they all went their separate ways, hoping to see each other in the future. An hour later Issei was with the executives. You are out of the selection. Issei, and the reason? It's our decision. Issei, it was no. We admit that you have talent, but as soon as it comes it goes. and the Hyoudou family will always have stars for many years to come. Plus, we have more and more better strikers. Issei, if that's what you wish, fine. That's all you'll say. Issei, do you want me to get on my knees and beg? If that's your decision, fine, from today on I'm no longer Japanese. Taking the path to the exit. Once outside he saw Sarah fall sitting on a bench. She, noticing his gaze, asked him what was wrong, where Issei let out a sigh and told her what happened. She quickly got upset and was about to yell at them, but Issei stopped her and then gave her a smile. Issei, our adventure is just beginning, manager. Upon hearing what he said, she just smiled as she took Issei's hand and left the building. Days later the news was given, leaving many more shocked than his friends. Some tried to call him, but in the end Issei didn't cost anyone. Issei, Dad, make a decision. Cristiano only had a serious look where he just nodded. 3 years later a man was about to make an announcement. Today I am happy to say that this young star will be joining the team. After much thought he made the decision to come here. I am proud to introduce Issei dos Santos. Everyone started clapping as a 20-year-old stood up to walk onto the stage. Welcome to Real Madrid. Issei, thank you very much. Since I was a child, my dream was to play with the big stars, and today I was able to achieve it. Young Issei, why this sudden decision to play soccer? Not long ago he was in the United States playing baseball. Issei, a few years ago I spoke to my father and told him that I was going to try what I liked, and depending on how I did I was going to take up that sport. But he did well in baseball, basketball, and American football. Issei, it was fun since I got to face my friends. But the truth is I'm more suited to soccer. Plus I have to break my father's record. The team president gave him the shirt with the number 7 on it, which Issei happily took. Issei's friends, upon learning that their captain was back on the field, smiled as tough days were coming. Ichiro was upset when he saw that Issei had signed with Real Madrid because he didn't want to play there. At the presentation the entire stadium was packed. Issei, Issei dos Santos, promised many goals and to take this team to the top. Everyone was shouting with excitement as they knew how good the new striker was. Days passed and the league began at home. The stadium was packed to see the new number 7 play. To the delight of the fans, Issei scored a double in his first match. As the days and seasons passed, the Champions League arrived. Issei, and to think I'd be playing against my old friends. Tanjiro, something before losing. Issei, the kings of Europe know no defeat. Jumping onto the field, it was a Real Madrid vs Chelsea match. In the end, the match ended with a score of 2-0. Some time later Issei had a big smile as he was in the Champions League final. Ichiro, I'm going to destroy you. Issei, leave that hatred you have for me. Ichiro, you've always had everything. While I fought to get where I am. Issei didn't say anything and walked to the stadium where screams were instantly heard. Commentator, we're going to see a dream final, one of the most anticipated classics. 2 old teammates, 2 new legends on the rise. Commentator, in just 1 year, young Issei has won the hearts of the public. Commentator, since Issei arrived in Spain he has taken everything from Ichiro as the top scorer and the league. This is his chance to win. Seconds later the final began. Minutes passed and nobody stopped until there was a corner kick, but the Barcelona defender managed to clear it. Issei was outside the area and without hesitation he shot, making it a great goal. Everyone was screaming with excitement at such a great goal. Issei just walked around the corner with a smile as he pointed high up in the direction of his father. The match continued and Ichiro tried his best to score, but the white defense stopped him. Already a little annoyed, he without hesitation made a tackle to Issei, who managed to evade in time. Issei didn't say anything and continued with the game until the final whistle came. Without hesitation, everyone grabbed Issei and threw him into the air. Young Issei, who feels like he won his first Champions League. Issei, happy since all this was achieved with the help of my friends. Something to say. Issei, the truth is that I dedicate this cup to my future son. My wife is currently in the hospital. Sarah fall if you see this we win. Sarah fall, who was in the hospital with her mother-in-law, could only shed tears of happiness. It was hard to convince Issei to play in the final. Time passed and the moment that many others had been waiting for arrived for Ichiro, since it would be his first World Cup, and he was also happy since he knew that Issei did not have a national team. He and his family were having breakfast while watching the news. Portugal is ready for the upcoming matches. It will be difficult, but we will give our all. We also have many stars this year. Ichiro, ha 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 ha, just because Cristiano's son is there they think they're going to win. If he didn't do anything before, he won't do it even less. Days later the list of participants from Portugal was released, leaving everyone in shock since Issei was among those summoned. Cristiano Jr., brother, are you ready? Issei, of course. We have to win for our father. Uncle Messi, this will be our year. Messi, good luck guys, but don't forget my son is there too, don't cry. Issei, ha 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 ha, when I was a kid I promised my dad the World Cup and I will give it to him. Cristiano, how proud. Everyone could only laugh at what had been said. The World Cup began and most people went to see Portugal, where the two brothers were up front with numbers 7 and 10. Portugal made it through the group stage without much difficulty until the round of 16, and they were drawn against Japan. Issei, good luck, friend. Now for me, not long ago you were defending this country and now. Issei, that's how they wanted it. Now for me, I know, and good luck. Issei just nodded to bump fists with his friend. As the match progressed, everything was 0-0 thanks to Naofumi's saves. Ichiro was so furious that he couldn't even think straight. Issei looked at his brother where he just nodded. Commentator, Issei passes to Junior, he returns it, Issei returns the pass, Junior returns it, number 10 throws and goal. Commentator, what a great combination of brothers, plays like this are unique to see. The match ended with the Japanese only able to applaud what they saw and also showed their respect for their former player. Issei just bowed with some tears for what happened, making him gain the respect of the fans. The matches went by until the final against Brazil arrived. It was complicated. From the start, and with no other option, they went to penalties. Everything was going well until a Brazilian kicked the ball against the post. It was Issei's turn and everyone was supporting him. Everything was in his hands, the fans only shouted his name in support. Issei took the ball and put it in the center, and then took the same position as his father. After letting out a sigh, he threw the shot to the corner where the goalkeeper couldn't reach, scoring the winning goal. Without thinking, he ran out while taking off his shirt in excitement. All his classmates went up to him to congratulate him. Issei only had tears in his eyes as many memories came to him from his childhood of how he fought to get to where he is. Minutes later both brothers raised their glasses. Issei Jr., this one's for you, Dad. Cristiano could only cry with pride for his children as they fulfilled his dream. Issei just held his son as he posed for a photo with his wife and the cup. Issei, I am the happiest man in the world. The end.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown in left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.